Goldilocks song. Give me something good. Give me something good, Reese.
How long have you been farming, and what is your motivation behind it?
So let's see, I've been farming here for almost 3 years. I don't know a lot about farming. When I started keeping a garden, I don't know, 20 years ago, I killed my first several gardens and then gave up for a very long time. If it weren't for the help of farm partners and volunteers and such, a lot of what I have growing here probably wouldn't do so well. I'm learning as I go. I'm not an expert. The reason I like it, why I've incorporated that into my plan for this land, is that I want to eat well. I want to eat organic, more or less. I have no proof that organic is better, but I just suspect that it is. And I think it's a safer bet to eat organic, grow your own and eat organic, than it is to just try your luck with conventionally raised or new conventionally raised foods, let's say. I like the idea of self-sufficiency. I want to work toward being 90% self-sufficient. I don't know that I'll ever get there, but that's what I want to work toward. And growing your own food is essential to that.
How you envision the future of your farm, and is there a particular end goal? You mentioned the teaching.
Yeah, so this building that we're in right now is earmarked to be the classroom and some art studios to try to pay some of what the farm eats in money. But in this classroom, we hope to teach kids about homesteading, permaculture, and other things. Other people could teach other subjects, art, whatever, here. That's part of the future of the farm. And I'd like to get more farm partners who have their own plots. Ultimately, I'd like to have all the plots managed by farm partners so that they're growing their own, harvesting from their own gardens, etc., and taking care of their own gardens, preparing them for spring, weeding them, etc. And I see that as a possible way to take care of about half of the farm so that I don't have to take care of the whole thing.
How do you envision the future of our planet?
Well, I don't think about that a lot. Well, maybe I think about it, but I don't think I've got great insight into that. I think renting is a shame. I hope that everyone ultimately can, if they want, have their own place. Preferably a place with a bit of land, perhaps a tiny house and land, for instance. I think we're going to do okay. And if we're not going to do okay, that's a big bummer, but it's just going to happen. So I don't really worry too much about that. But I would like to see people self-sufficient.
What are your thoughts on the 50-year plan?
Well, I mean, jokingly, I've thought that maybe there's some states you're not going to want to spend a year in. It's possible. I was born in North Dakota. No offense, but I'm not sure I would want to spend a full year there. Yeah, I don't know. That's probably not true. Well, anyway, a year might be a lot, but it's cool. I mean, if you can actually do it.
It's a big if.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of time to dedicate, but it will make your life super interesting just because of that decision you're making. Mm-hmm. So that's cool.
I think it's really cool. It keeps you moving, and 50 years. It's kind of intense at the same time, man. Because I think back on myself. You know, I want to travel for a while, a good portion while, but I already can feel in myself, I can't do this forever. I'm gonna have to at some point settle down and like really just invest in people and what's around me and the community. So it is interesting to continue bouncing, but it's not like, oh, I'm here a week and I gotta go. I mean, it's a year, so it is interesting the opportunities, and you're gonna be super well rounded when you're like, I've been to all the states and I've lived my life in like a year. Yeah, it'll be pretty cool, pretty gnarly.
Yeah, I think it's really inspiring to hear your vision for this plan, and it's been a really cool thing. Like earlier, I was saying that the biggest surprise of this particular farm gig has been how cool and how interesting and engaging the people that I've been living and working with have been. And I think that your 50-year plan is one of sort of the pinnacle of that, you know, because a lot of us are, I mean, all of us are traveling, transitioning, doing this, doing that. And that's like a very lofty goal that is really cool to see you taking the steps towards doing that. And I think, and particularly because I'm someone who has trouble making those very long commitments. Like if there's a project that I can do in a day or a week, I can sort of draw up the gumption to get through it, you know. And like if I'm trying to make something, I can't like eat or sleep or stop or talk to anyone or answer the phone until I'm done with it. But that's on like a 24, 72-hour scale, you know. It's not on a weeks, months, years scale. Like I've almost never done anything that takes longer than months, or occasionally a few years, but certainly not decades. So I have an immense respect for that journey. I always like imagine in my own mind that if I found a thing that I could commit to for a very long time, I would find a lot of peace in committing to that. And I feel like I haven't ever quite found that thing that I want to commit to for that long. And so I guess I sort of feel that anxiety of jumping around a lot. Once you've decided on something that takes a very long time and you're certain of doing that thing, I imagine it frees you into a very peaceful place internally, in that it lets you just kind of stick with that plan. Mm-hmm. And within that plan, there are many, many, many variations. You know, the order you do the states, the things you do in each state, the way the years come. You know, 50 years from now, there might not even be 50 states in the United States.
Right.
But just putting yourself on that trajectory is a beautiful thing. And I'm sure it'll be extremely challenging. And I'm sure you haven't faced even nearly the most challenging portions of it yet compared to when you're looking back on it in 2066. And I hope we're all invited to a really big banquet with lots of champagne in 2066 to watch the premiere of the final movie. Or maybe it'll be 2067 by the time the final movie comes out. But yeah, so I'm really impressed by what you're setting out to do. I want to see you get through all the challenges that will face you along the way, and to keep that end goal in mind, but also to allow the little things that come up to be important, you know, and to not miss 50 years in your pursuit of getting to the end of 50 years.
Awesome.
I think it's really cool to see like where you started, where you went.
You're
where
gonna
you
have a
are.
great life. Like, you really are.
I don't know. I think it has like pros and cons. Pros
Yeah.
and cons. But
Can you elaborate?
like pros, I don't know. 50 well no. 50 years is a while for one. But pros to it is like you get to travel and experience all these things in such a long time. And the fact that you don't just go in one place in a state, kind of like move around. That's really cool. I don't know. Cons, like living with someone like Brock who controls all this stuff is so frustrating. I don't know. It just has its challenges.
Definitely.
It's
you want
a
to
really big project.
Speaking of projects.
It's quite impressive.
At the beginning, we didn't really knew you, and I was thinking nobody could do that. It's too big, and you need to be too kind to do it because we had some bad experiences, and we knew that sometimes you just arrive in places and people just want to use you, and I could never do that. Just give myself to the other projects, because if it was all the time very nice people, I think I could, but as it's not always like that in reality, I know I'm not strong enough to continue. But then we learned to know you, and we've seen what we were doing for other relationship and for the good of the community and all that stuff, and then I think it's really nice. And I don't know if you are going to do the 50 years, but I think it's not really important. The important thing is now, what you are doing now, and then for me it doesn't really matter if it's 1 year, 5, 20, 50. It's for the moment that it's really nice and that you are giving something really interesting to the others, and then it's wonderful.